Chemosh was one of the most prominent gods in the ancient Near East, particularly for the Moabites, a Semitic-speaking people who lived in what is now modern-day Jordan. Revered as the national god of Moab, Chemosh was a figure of great power, often associated with war, judgment, and the protection of the Moabite people. His worship, like that of many ancient gods, was deeply intertwined with the socio-political fabric of the region. In Moabite culture, Chemosh was seen not just as a god of war but also as a protector of the Moabite state and people. The Moabites, who frequently found themselves in conflict with neighboring nations such as Israel, were especially dedicated to Chemosh in times of war. Like many ancient cultures, the Moabites believed that the success of their military campaigns was directly tied to the favor of their gods, and in this respect, Chemosh was regarded as a divine general granting victory and strength in battle. The most well-known and controversial aspect of Chemosh's worship was the practice of human sacrifice, specifically child sacrifice. This is most famously recorded in the Mesha stele, an ancient Moabite inscription that tells the story of King Mesha of Moab. In the stele, Mesha recounts how, during a time of crisis when he was facing a siege by Israel, he sacrificed his eldest son, burning him alive in a desperate plea for Chemosh's favor and intervention. This act was seen as an ultimate offering to secure victory, though it was condemned by neighboring cultures, including the Israelites, for its brutality. This form of sacrifice, while extreme, was not unique to Chemosh but was a common practice in many ancient religions where gods were believed to demand the highest form of devotion. The Moabite king's actions, however, highlight Chemosh's broader role in the religious landscape of the region. He was a god of divine justice, a deity who judged both the living and the dead. In addition to his military associations, Chemosh was believed to have influence over the natural world, ensuring fertility and agricultural prosperity for his followers. The Moabites built temples and high places dedicated to Chemosh, where sacrifices were offered and rituals performed to ensure the continued favor of the god. The belief that Chemosh could affect both the life of the nation and the afterlife of individuals made him a multifaceted deity, central to both the daily lives and the religious practices of the Moabites. The Bible, in its portrayal of the ancient world, presents Chemosh as a rival to the Israelite god Yahweh. In several biblical texts, such as in the Book of Kings, Chemosh is depicted as a god whom the Israelites must oppose. The Israelites viewed the worship of Chemosh, particularly the practice of child sacrifice, as a serious transgression against their religious laws and an abomination. The Moabites' worship of Chemosh stood in stark contrast to the monotheistic beliefs of Israel, contributing to the tensions and hostilities between these two ancient peoples. This antagonism is most clearly demonstrated in the biblical accounts of the wars between Israel and Moab, where Chemosh's favor is seen as the driving force behind Moabite victories. However, the Moabites were not the only people who worshipped Chemosh. While he was primarily associated with Moab, his influence may have spread to other areas of the ancient Near East. Archaeological evidence from neighboring regions suggests that Chemosh was occasionally worshipped by surrounding peoples, further highlighting his importance in the broader religious context of the time. As time passed and the Moabite kingdom declined, the worship of Chemosh eventually faded. The rise of other empires, such as the Babylonians and the Persians, led to the absorption or destruction of many smaller ancient cultures, and their gods were forgotten or replaced by the pantheons of new ruling powers. Nevertheless, Chemosh remains an important figure in the study of ancient Near Eastern religions, providing insight into the complex religious practices, including the dark and desperate rites of human sacrifice, that shaped the ancient world. Today, Chemosh is remembered primarily through archaeological findings and the stories preserved in inscriptions such as the Mesha stele. His legacy endures as a symbol of the religious and cultural divisions of the ancient world, offering a window into the beliefs, struggles, and rituals that define the Moabite people and their relationship with the divine. While his active worship has long since passed, the stories of Chemosh continue to inform our understanding of the ancient past, shedding light on the darker and more complex aspects of human devotion to the gods.